What's up, guys? Willie's Comics back, another video. Today I don't have a haul or anything. Actually, I will show off a couple things from GalaxyCon, but I wanted to go over this list that basically of some of the coolest books that I've had the opportunity and like the pleasure of selling to other collectors since I've been doing these comic book shows. And I have a list here, and I'll throw up some pictures. There's a handful I'm going to mention that I did not take pictures of. Like I sold the Werewolf by Night #1, and Ultimate. I do have a picture of an Ultimate Fallout, but I have sold an Ultimate Fallout 4, and I didn't get a picture of it. Edge of Spider-Verse 2 for SpiderGwen. I don't have a picture. I mean, I have another one, so I can take a picture of it, but when I sold it originally. But there's a few books that I have not had pictures of, and there's some books that I wanted to mention still, but this is something I kind of just threw together. It kind of encapsulates some of the really cool stuff that I've sold. So first off, this was a trade, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's the Boys #1 and Saga #1, and I got a New Mutants 98 plus cash, or I straight up traded, I forget, but usually with trades, I try to make them in my favor because it is a business in a sense, so I do have to come out ahead, because otherwise I'd just rather sell the books. Unless it's like a smarter trade, like if it's equal value but one book is a quicker sell, then maybe I'll do that, but I usually try to come out on top because I'm essentially buying the book anyway. So, but yeah, just two books that I think are really cool. I've had a couple of each of them, but it's not like I run across them very often. Up next, I have Marvel Team Up 14. This is an Invincible appearance. Everything Invincible is super hot right now. I actually have to reprice probably all my Invincible stuff. But I sold it prior to what it's at right now, but it was still a very, very cool book that I sold. Up next, I have Wonder Woman 184. I think that's the first appearance of, is it Nebula? No, that's not Nebula. Nebula's Marvel. I forget who the first appearance is, but it's first appearance. It's a beautiful cover. I got it for a fantastic deal at a show in New York, and then I moved down here and I sold it down here after a dozen shows it took me, but it's still a great book. It'll probably pop in my head, but I haven't had it for a while now, so I forget. Up next, I have Astonishing AntMan #10. This is the Jenny Frison cover. I got this in a collection here, a very, very good collection that I was very excited about. And I traded it with some local collectors, and they own a shop as well. So there's a couple other things, like books within that trade, but they got that. It was just a really cool cover, and I like those hard to find variants. I think usually I tend to really like selling those more, or having those available for sale. Up next, I got Tang Girl #1. This book, it was beautiful. I got a great deal on it. Hard to find. I gave the guy a really good deal, honestly, but they were and I sold it to the same group of people that bought the 101 184, and they were good negotiators, I'll say that. I probably could have got more for it, but I made my money and I was happy. But it was just a really cool book. I liked having it on the wall. I thought it was great. It looked great. But yeah. Up next, I have Hulk 271 Newsstand. I think this is technically the second appearance of Rocket, or his first like standard comic book appearance, but it was also a newsstand. Beautiful copy, very high grade. I'm surprised at how long it took for me to sell it, but eventually I did. So I sold that, which I was sad to see go. Up next, XMen 101, first appearance of Phoenix. Just a good book. Not really I mean, it was a great book to sell, but I guess in terms of price, that's why it's up here, but it wasn't really one of my favorites essentially, but it was still a great book. Hulk 340. I've only had one of these, obviously a Tom McFarlane cover. I'm surprised. I got it in a trade and sold it fairly quick, and I sold it to the same. I sold that and a Wolverine 1 from his first limited series to the same people, and I actually was not there for it. I had to do something the next day, and my dad sold it for me. But just a great book. I don't get it very often, surprisingly. But yeah, just a cool one. Up next is the 2 books that I don't think I put pictures of for my last video that I traded to Paper Chase Comics, and I got all those other books. It was, and I should be putting pictures of everything up here. The Trickor Treat convention exclusive. This is from 2009. I forget which convention, but it's a mini comic, very hard to find. And I got that on eBay, and I just traded it for what I paid for it, essentially, to him. And then this other book was, I appreciated a little bit more. It was Vampella 20. This was the Bruce Timm variant that I got from the same people that I got the Tang Girl 1 for. Just every now and then I find some really good deals from them. And the Bruce Timm variant I paid like $75 for, and it's like a $200 book. So I traded it for $200 worth of books, essentially. So yeah, it was a great deal. Very excited about that. Up next, wait a second. Wonder Woman 184, I'm sorry, because I just wrote it down, I forget. Wonder Woman 184 is the Adam Hughes cover. That's the modern book. This book right here, Wonder Woman 204, is the first appearance. The Adam Hughes cover is beautiful, that's why I put it on this list. The 204 is definitely a nicer book. That's the one that I sold the Tang Girl and that to the same group of people. They had they were like CGC partners at Fan Expo that I did, so they were all a group and they were looking at my stuff. Yeah, so that was Wonder Woman 204. It's bugging me that I can't remember who the first appearance is, but whatever. Up next is Starcraft Scavengers #1. This was a convention exclusive I found on eBay. It was one of those books where I could not find any sold comps. There was only one listed for like $50-$60, and I just made the price up. And I probably could have sold it for more, but I'm not, like I said, it was just me knowing what I was looking for, found it, and I was like, this is really cool. I think this would be awesome to have for sale, and it worked out great. But it was just a book that I've only seen once, haven't seen it since, and I actually keep tabs to see if I can ever like purchase it again, but very cool. Next is Dead Space Extraction, the convention exclusive. I actually have one right, it's right off camera, but yeah, I sold this to a kid. Again, this is a book that all these 2 Dead Space convention exclusive variants are super hard to find. I do not see them come up for sale very often, so I just made up a price, and somebody paid it, and they bought the #1, so you'll see that in the picture as well. But yeah, just a great book. I'm surprised I think that was the first time I had it available for sale, and it sold like that. And honestly, every time I get a Dead Space 1, it sells super quick. They're hard to find, but they're just really cool covers, especially #1. Honestly, the convention exclusives are not as good as the regular cover, but still just a very hard to find book. This was a really cool one. This was Power Rangers 25. This is the photo variant of Tommy, which is the guy, Jason Frank played him, which is the Green Ranger. I believe he was the Green Ranger, but Power Ranger who committed suicide, unfortunately, and it was signed by him. This was prior to his passing. He went to a shop local to me, and I think he did a signing, and one of the kids of the father that owns that shop sold me this book, and I made an offer on it. He was trying to sell it, and I made money on it. I had it priced for a lot more, actually, but one of my really good friends was interested, so I gave him a really good deal on it. But it was like a 1 of 1. You're not going to be able to get him to sign this thing anymore. And the signature was really, really cool. Unfortunately, I think he went and got it signed by a different Power Ranger. So I thought that was silly because there's no reason for all the other Power Rangers to have their signatures on it. But I mean, it's his book. He does what he wants. I sold it to him. He was happy with it. But it was him. It was a picture of him, only him, and his signature. Like, that was all you needed for it. But whatever. Up next, I have the Harley Quinn #1. This is the Adam Hughes 125 variant from the New 52 run. I know they've reprinted this cover, but this was the original one. And I traded it for a Fantastic Four 48.5 plus cash, plus $100. So it was basically like an equal value trade, and then I got $100 on top of it. Like I said, I try to come out on top on trades. Like if the guy wanted to do just a straight up trade, I would have kept the book. I was like, look, you want what I have, and I'm buying what you have, essentially, because I can sell this book for $400, or we can just trade. I mean, I could trade all day long and never make any money. So I will trade if you also give me some cash on top of it. So that's how it went down. But yeah, that was kind of sad to see that one go. It was really good for the wall. Clone Wars 1. This was actually my personal copy that I sold. I've kind of changed my direction in terms of what I collect. I'm super into like sci-fi. I mean, I still do collect Star Wars, but more so kind of just Darth Vader at this point. And then a lot of sci-fi horror stuff, and just other sci-fi stuff, and Joseph Linzer stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But yeah, I just really didn't want it anymore. And I figured I'd have the Willie's Comics booth, so I put it up on the wall, and of course it sold. It was a great book, and it was actually my buddies who bought it, and they got it signed by the voice actors for Anakin, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka from the Clone Wars. So it's really cool now. Like, it's got 3 big signatures on it. This was a book that I could not believe I got this deal on, and I sold it for a really good price, but I made a lot of money on it still. Gambit #1, the gold foil variant. I went to another comic shop locally that I've mentioned already, and I saw it on the wall, and I don't see it very often, so I asked how much they had on it, and he said $20. Could not believe it. I don't know if he was going off of the regular price for the #1 like non-variant. So I bought that instantly, and I think I sold it for like $150 or so, maybe $125 to $150, and I probably got $200 for it. But again, it is what it is. I just on the hunt, found it. Someone else got it for a great deal. They were very happy, and I'm happy. But yeah, like I said, got a picture of it. It was a beautiful book. I was sad to see it go so quick. Hulk 180, first cameo or first appearance, however you want to call it, of Wolverine. Great book. I had that for a little bit, and then I sold it finally, but not much to be said about it other than it was expensive and just a really good book. So yeah. I'll mention this, a Silver Surfer 1. I got this from this is the only time I got message from a Craigslist ad that I put up about trying to buy comic books, and I got a Silver Surfer 1 out of it, which was crazy. And then also a New Mutants 98 newsstand. I mentioned these two together because I sold these two to the same guy. Beautiful copy of New Mutants 98. It was a newsstand. That was from the first collection that I bought, and I've actually had 2 of those. So I sold 2 of those New Mutants 98 newsstands, and they were both beautiful. But yeah, so those 2. Captain America 100. I think this was a Facebook Marketplace deal. I think I don't remember if I traded or if I bought them from somebody on Facebook Marketplace, but I want to say I traded I had Pokemon cards, and I put them up for sale or for trade. I was like, I'm looking in search of comics, and I got a Captain America 100 and some other stuff out of it. I was beyond excited, and I've actually done that a few times, where I put up video games one time, and then I put up cards one time, and both times I got great keys, people that were searching for that stuff and just had comic books in their closet, and I would have reached them unless I would have put stuff up for trade. So that works sometimes. I mean, I got messages with like random junk comics too, but it worked out really good the both times I tried it, so I may have to try it again. And then SpiderGwen 24 Campbell exclusive. This is the first Gwenom. This is the exclusive with Gwenom on the cover. It was signed by Campbell. It was a 9/8. And I ended up trading that for like 3 really nice keys. And I don't have the picture of those, but some ASM keys and the Silver Surfer Thanos printing. I don't know, it was all graded stuff, but I traded it. It was like a $600 book, so I got like $600 worth of keys for it. But yeah, so just a great book. ASM 300, 7.5, signed by Todd McFarlane. Not much to say on that. Beautiful book, signed by McFarlane. Can't go wrong with it. I also have sold the ASM 300 raw before, in the past, and I still have one for sale right now. But yeah, those one inside by McFarlane was really cool. Supernatural's #1 Capullo variant. This I traded with my boy, Paper Chase Comics. Like I said, he also took the Bruce Timm Vampella variant and the Trickor Treat book. This was a book I found for legitimately $3, and I had a $600 price tag on it, maybe $700. It was something ridiculous. Just a really, really hard to find variant. I found that at a show for $3. Couldn't believe it. And I got a Wolverine 1 from his first limited series and Ultimate Fallout 4 and cash on top of it. It was a great deal. But again, that's like a ghost book, so that I had. So yeah, very, very cool. I think, yeah, up next I got Giant Size X-Men #1 and Fantastic Four 48. The Giant Size X-Men was a 1.5, and I got that from another buddy that I'll mention later. And the Fantastic Four 48 I got in a trade. So both of them were, one I bought when I got in a trade, and I sold them to the same guy. He got a pretty good deal, but it was a big sale for me. They were both low grade, but just great books. I was excited to sell them. I probably could have gotten more out of it, but it is what it is. And then, but what's funny is that I actually saw they listed them on Facebook Marketplace locally after, and he was asking more than what he bought them for. Like, he got a good deal, but it wasn't good enough to try and flip. And looking at comps, he's not going to get what he's hoping for, because they're selling for basically almost what I sold it to him for. And he was asking like a couple $100 more than that. It's like the comps don't reflect that, but whatever. It's just great books I was able to sell, and I could say that I had them at one point. This is a crazy book. Wolverine Origins #10, the 3rd Claw variant, signed by, I think it's Quesada, something like that. Really hard to find book, ghost book. I got that in a collection, and I sold that, which was really, really exciting. But just like I said, a really hard to find variant. I love having those hard to find books. And then that was 3. So I'm at the last 2 books here. Then I sold an ASM 129, first appearance of Punisher. I've only had one of these. I almost got 2 more, but this is the only time I've had this book. Of course, I hope to have more in the future. Just a great cover. And I got that from a family friend, and just got a really good deal on it. Sold it for a really good price, or you know, what it was worth. And I paid up for it, but it was still a great deal. And then last but not least, this was probably the coolest book. It wasn't the most expensive book I sold, although I sold it for under what it was worth, and I'll explain that. But I found this on Facebook Marketplace for $100. Vampella #1 and 2. I sold 2 to some local collectors for like a really good deal, like $25. It was rattier than #1. And then #1 I sold for $600, and I probably could have sold it for $800, because the guy I sold it to ended up selling it, and he bought another copy later. But I think at the time he was like, he got another offer, and he was like, make a quick $200, you'll find another one, I guess. But we were cool because of that. I don't, like I said, I could have squeezed more money out of it, but he's the one I got the Giant Size X-Men #1 from, so worked out great. Like, I would not have gotten that great deal. But yeah, so I sold. That was just the coolest book that I probably had the pleasure of owning. Just a really hard to find book. I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and it was, if I would have pressed it, I could have got more money out of it. But again, it is what it is. I can't get hung up on every little dollar, because then I would never sell any books. So I like giving good deals out, and I like finding deals, and everybody's happy. But yeah, that's some of the coolest books I've sold while doing this. I have a lot of really cool books that I still have not sold, or that I'm trying to sell. And I'll probably make another video like this at some point. I've been wanting to, but I just figured I'd do it before I lost track of everything. But yeah, just a bunch of like miscellaneous, like a Godzilla one I sold. I mean, I can go on forever about just the keys that I've sold, but I just wanted to throw some sort of list together and throw some pictures up. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time. Oh, and I will be making a probably top 25 books in my collection video soon, so I'll get to that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time.